this way. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's do some, tidy up of the house before start. Welcome to this event. We are really excited. We got with us today Rush, that is the CEO and co-founder of Zolt. Zolt is a platform where you can create events, build community, engage with your people before your event, generating momentum during your event and after that, so you can retain them happy. Now, we have a focus for today on delivering memorable event experiences. Sorry. So the idea is like, your people will never forget, and you will be building pass-through stories while delivering amazing events. Well, events. Now, I would say that Rush, are you able to share your screen? We should just do a quick test, and then we want to just get started.
Yep. Right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we do. Amazing. Perfect. Yes. So I think Rush, let me change to presenter, and now is all yours. Go for it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me here, Francisco. It's a pleasure, and excited to meet everybody. I'm Rush, co-founder, CEO at Zolt, and in a nutshell, what we do at Zolt is we're building software that helps you bring people to your event and engage them after it's over. So events are an incredibly powerful tool to bring people together around a shared interest. But there's two problems. One is, you've captured someone's attention. They registered, they RSVP'd for your event, but then how do you actually get them to show up on the day of, at the time of your event? And the second is, after the event ends, typically people leave the call and they're lost, and you've sort of lost them to the wind. We are building software that'll help you retain them even after that event ends, so they can stay in touch with each other and with you. So, so happy to be here. And, for those of y'all who are on the call today, if you have any questions as I'm going through this, feel free to jump in and, ask questions. I'd love for this to be interactive. But I have prepared a presentation, so we can start there. And if anything comes up as you're going through it, feel free to jump in.
Makes sense.
Francisco, yeah.
Yes, yeah, makes sense. I'll interrupt whenever possible. No, go for it.
Sounds good. That's us. That's my co-founder, Jack. These are some of the customers that we work with. Some you may probably familiar with Ryan Holiday, a famous author, the Gates Foundation, Columbia University, Kate Burgoyne, that's Customer Camp. And we're backed by some of the leading Silicon Valley investors. So in terms of what we'll cover today, one is just sort of why events are powerful. We're at an event right now, and they're really underutilized in sort of the go-to-market product-led growth phase, and also in the community building phase. And then we'll chat about how can you use Zolt? So how can this platform help you grow your business? And then I wanted to share some practices from running a successful event. We've now run so many events at this point with so many customers. We just see patterns, we see what people are doing right, what they're doing wrong. And I just want put that collective knowledge together so that you can apply this to your business. And then we'll go through the product together. I can create an event from scratch and show you how the platform works. And then we have a special offer for everyone listening to this call, and then the Q&A. So let's dive in. So one is just why events are so powerful. There's lots of things you can do to engage and activate people, but events are right up there and being the most powerful thing. And that's because people are actually making effort to show up for your event. So you've got their attention, and then they've made an effort to show up, and they're all there for the same reason. That is an incredible point in time that you have to make an impression on them, to to foster community. The second piece is that events are an incredible way to position yourself as an expert. Whether people see this on their LinkedIn or they see it on social media, the very fact that you are someone that's hosting an event around a specific topic positions you in their mind as a thought leader for that topic. Because it's not usually, people who are not experts don't run events. So you're cementing that in your audience's mind the minute you start running events. And the third is that events are a great way to build community. So again, you're bringing people together around a shared interest or a shared topic. And that's actually really underappreciated, is that if you can now add those people who are at your event into a community, you now have a steady flow of sort of addition of people to your community, and everyone is there around a shared interest. So it sort of benefits both them and you. So how can you use Zolt? In three ways, primarily. One is to just run your events, whether these are one-off events or recurring events. You can generate beautiful landing pages, collect RSVPs, send reminder emails, send a calendar invite, all of those things through Zolt. The second is that it can be a companion to your conference. Whether your conference is in person or virtual, you can use Zolt as a companion. And what do I mean by that? There's usually a lot of material that people have that you want to distribute to folks who are at your conference. You want to control when that material is sent, where it lives. You don't want people having to, go through 3 different emails just to find the slides. So Zolt serves as that. So you can have your event in person or have it on Zoom or Hopin or any of the live streaming platforms that you'd like. But Zolt sort of acts as a companion in the background, as a sort of a portal for all of the material and community around your event. And the third is to run a cohort-based course. What do I mean by a cohort-based course? It is a course that combines live events with the distribution of material. So whether that's a product walkthrough, whether it's a webinar, a seminar, or it's a course, like an online course that just combines Zoom calls, we're structured really well to handle all of that and just make it easy on the back end for you to be up and running and focus on the teaching or engaging your audience. So Ryan Holiday, for example, just ran his Wealthy Stoic cohort-based course on our platform and had about 20,000 people go through that. So we'll get into some more examples later. So I wanted to share some, and I'll pause there before we dive in, but if there's any questions or anything you wanted to add, Francisco.
I think that would be nice to see if you can share the example of Ryan's Holiday community, how he's delivering content and running events and all that. It's amazing. Like, it's impressive. Many people, especially in the US, are aware of Ryan. So probably it's a good example to share what can be done.
Totally. So when we get to the platform demo, I'll show you guys what Ryan has built, and we can go through both the member experience and the admin experience. But
okay, totally.
Yeah,
I think that this part is the most scary. So go for it.
So in terms of like something that's on everybody's mind whenever you throw an event is, will you be able to fill up the room or not? Like, will people actually show up for your event? And this is almost a very universal fear that all of us have. I remember the first birthday party that I threw, I was worried if my friends would show up or not. And that just sort of flows through adulthood. And it's really important, as marketers, as community builders, we want people to show up. So what can you do to fix that? So there's things our platform can do, and we'll get into that during the demo, but what can you do as the host to actually drive more people to register for your event. The first is the biggest mistake I see people make is that they're just not clear what the event is about. They make the event about themselves or they make it about the speakers. What you really want to do is focus on what value the attendee is going to get from being at that event. And there is a formula for this that'll help you structure all your communications. It's called GIVE. And so that's guests. So you want to be very clear about who else is going to be at this event, both in terms of who the speakers will be, but also who the other attendees are going to be. So people are more likely to show up when they can relate to one or both, ideally both of those. So if I know that there's going to be other startup founders at an event, for example, I would love to, my odds of going to that event just exponentially higher. The second is inspire people in your messaging, right? Who will they become after your event? Don't focus on the event itself, focus on the outcome. The third is validate, affirm people's identity through your event. So an example of that, for a real estate agent, for example, you could be like, hey, come to my real estate talk, or you could call your event, the best real estate agents in San Diego are meeting at this time. People now want to show up there because they associate themselves with being the best agent, or they want to be the best agent. So they're giving them a reason to show up because it's validating their identity. And then the last part is experience. So you want to create a pass along story that people can share after your event. So we're going to talk a lot about what a pass along story is. But that's how you should want to be thinking about the marketing materials for your event. So how can you, drive more registrations for your event? One simple tactic is just more reminders. I think until we started running a lot of events, I was always hesitant about sending reminders, nudges, and studies have shown that people actually don't mind it. It's not considered spam. People appreciate it. And if they were intending to be at your event, they actually appreciate that you reminded them. So you want to start 2 weeks in advance. And the most important reminders are the reminder the day before, 24 hours before your event, and an hour before your event. And the second is you want to create a sense of urgency around registration. So instead of leaving it open-ended, you could say stuff like, and through our platform, you can do this, put a time box around it. You only have 24 hours left, or there's only 100 seats left. It sounds a bit icky, but it actually motivates people to register. So the question that, is also in a lot of event creators' minds is, how do you convert these RSVPs into attendees? So you've got people to register, they've RSVP'd, they're telling you they're coming, but then on the day off, what percentage of those people actually show up? So across industries, there's been research done. It's about 25% of people that RSVP yes actually show up. So that's a ratio you want to keep in mind and work backwards from there. If you have an event and you have to fill 100 seats, that means you have to get 400 RSVPs, and that means you have to send out about 1,000 invitations. So that is a core, that's the North Star metric for Zolt, is that we are trying to increase the ratio of people that RSVP to the attendees. So we want more than 25% of people to show up. So what can you do to increase that ratio? The most simple thing is actually just charge people for the event. And it doesn't need to be a lot of money. It could be $5, it could be $10. But the fact that somebody took their wallet out and paid to buy a ticket for your event exponentially increases the odds that they're going to show up for the event, because now they've made a commitment, they've bought in, and they feel like they have to because they want to get some value from what they paid for. The second is exclusivity. So you can force people to apply for access to your event instead of just allowing anybody. You can have them submit a LinkedIn profile, and then you approve whether they get in or not. This makes them feel like it's exclusive and they did some work to get it, which is tangential to the next point, which is create friction. You want to almost make people do a little bit of work before they get the good work so that they value what you're offering more. An example of this would be Burning Man. So that's a music festival in the desert in California. People have to work for months in advance, creating all sorts of rigs and working with teams in order to attend this music festival, and the attendance rates are 99%. And the only people that don't show up are people who fell sick or had an emergency because they've done so much work in advance. So there's like anticipation built up. Another easy thing to do is just double confirm attendance. So once people RSVP, you can go and text or email people through our platform and just double confirm, like, hey, Francisco, I see you're coming. I just wanted to make sure you'll be there. Looking forward to seeing you. And people, once they double confirm, it's very hard to flake on a human. It's a lot harder to flake on when someone's just pressed a button and RSVP'd, but, oh, I'm feeling lazy, I'm not going to show up. So then the last three I'll go through quickly. A hype sequence, so you want to send out emails in advance of your event. A max of 5, don't go overboard with that. You want to highlight who the speakers will be, who else will be at the event, like why the person is going to get value from your event. And fostering connections. This is a very underrated tactic, is that as the host of an event, you have a superpower, and that is that you know who's going to be there in advance. And if you can foster connections within your own community, you have an unfair advantage, because you could go to Jack and tell Jack, hey, Jack, I want you to meet Sally because I think she'd be a great customer for you. See you both at the event. You've now given both Jack and Sally a very strong reason to show up to your event, and they'll be grateful to you for it. And that makes your community tighter. And then social proof, all of us know this in this day and age, but you want to be showing who your customers are, the testimonials you've gotten, press you may have gotten. Like, you don't be shy about putting that out there. So, how do you create a memorable event? And this is something called a pass-through story. And lots of research has shown that the way we, as humans, remember things is by telling pass-through stories. So we forget 95% of all the information thrown at us every day, and our brains are overloaded. And so our minds have designed tricks for us to remember the important things. And one such trick is the pass-through story, which is when you see something that you want to remember, you remember it better by telling someone else about it. And what does that mean? It means that if someone tells somebody else about your event, that's great for you, because now more people know about your event, they know about you, but more importantly, that was a tool to cement your product, your brand in the storyteller's mind, because that is what they're doing to remember you. So you want to design your event such that a pass-through story is created. So step one, get very specific about who the storyteller is. Visualize what profession they're in, what role they have, where they are in their career, their gender, to try to get as specific as you can. Visualize where they will share the story. So you can almost imagine that, something, you're on stage, you're presenting, and suddenly a dog jumps up on the screen, and then, someone's at dinner with their spouse and they're just like winding down for the day, and they're like, hey, I was on this webinar today, and the host's dog jumped up on the screen. And like, that is a way that you're now remembering that event subconsciously. Now, this crafting the story itself. I think the best stories are those that people feel proud to be associated with you or your brand. They're more likely to share that story, because by telling their friends about you, they look good. So you want to think about how you can position yourself such that you make people feel proud of themselves when they're talking to other people about you. And, that could be by making your event very exclusive. It could be by having some speakers there, or by sharing something that they normally would never have heard. And step 4 is you pick an emotion that you want to transmit. A lot of studies have shown that the only thing people remember 3 days after an event is the emotion that they felt. So it could be surprise, it could be anger, it could be shock, but think about an emotion that you want your entire event to transmit. So with that, we can go into the product demo, but if there's any questions before we go into the demo, I'd be happy to answer them.
Let me change the view. All right. I think this part has been amazing, especially the framework. The Give framework. I think is great. If you guys have any other questions, in the meantime, you can start sharing on the chat. But I would say that it's hard. This part of make an event memorable is the hardest thing ever, and also spark the emotions that you are aiming to generate with the event even harder. So I think that the right planning, as you are explaining, is vital to achieve the goals for our events. For instance, Robin was mentioning at the beginning during the chit chat before starting, and that she's helping like developers, but she's not technical community manager yet. And so even with that, she is aiming to build and help them connect. So, but what is the emotion that should trigger that event to be able to motivate people to connect? I was thinking like what is the challenge and how that can be possible. So I think that what you have shared with us today is really valuable. Even with the small events that we are doing every 2 weeks, like we do like a bi-weekly meetup, that is more like without structure event, more like a more like friendly experience. Even with that small, we have been having even like small meetups, 8-10 people on the call. What you want to spark is like a kind of brotherhood, support, collaboration. So those are emotions also. So what you have shared today with us is really, really amazing. Thank you, Rush, for putting this together for us. I think that probably we are going to get questions later, so you can maybe go to the next section.
Totally. Yep. So thanks, Francisco. My pleasure. And so, yeah, let's dive into the platform itself. So we are inside the platform. And what Zolt lets you do is 2 things. One is if you just want to run an individual event or a recurring string of events, you can do that. So it's very similar to Eventbrite, or some other event softwares that you may have seen. Very simple to just create an event, give it your own branding. Something unique that we do is we let you run that event under your own custom domain, so it's your branding throughout. And the second is creating an event hub. So this means that you can host multiple events and host material around those events, and effectively have an online course paired with your live event and have that distributed to people all through the platform in one native integration. So this is what it would look like. And for you, this can live under your custom domain on your site. You can host as many events as you'd like. So everyone in your community, everyone in your audience can go see the events that they're particularly useful for them and register to them. And I think to really bring this to life, we could just create an event together. So it's super simple, create a title, a time, you can update the cover photo. We have a library of images, which usually work when my internet is working. And yes, there we go. So you pick a date, time, duration, and it can be virtual or in person. So if it's in person, we have integration with Google Hangout, with the Google Maps, which will show people exactly where it's happening. And if it's virtual, we have a native integration with Zoom, but you can use Hopin, Butter, any of the other live stream video. We're compatible with all of them. And you can make it recurring or not. And yeah, so let's just put Zoom for now. And there you go. And you can now share this link with your audience. So that's creating an event. And if you wanted to now add materials to this event, or connect everybody who's attending this event in a forum, you would create what is known as a hub. And that now gives you all the functionality you need to ensure that all the materials are distributed. People can connect with both you, the speakers, and each other. All the speakers can get on there and make announcements. Announcements are right here. They will go out as an email. So when you or a speaker makes an announcement, it goes out as an email to everyone who's registered for the event. People can come, they can comment on those announcements, interact. And so you're sort of building buzz before the event begins. And during the event, everybody who's attending your event is added to a community where they can interact with each other, and they can stay in this community even after the event ends. But they're now part of your growing community, where you're constantly, every time you host an event, you're adding people to this community, and that grows with time and becomes, takes on a life of its own. I'm so happy we could go through one of these hubs just to give you a sense of what it looks like. So you can upload content and just have people, consume content, fill out surveys. There's discussion posts, a whole bunch of interactive functionality that's been built to this. Francisco, anything questions or anything you would add to that?
1 second, please. I think this way. There you go. No, I think this probably what we could show is the Led by community setup that we have done. Once we started, it's not a coincidence that we got Rush invited today. No, we have been using Luma sometimes to kind of manage our events. Also for a long time, the last year, Talkbase as well, but there were always a few details that we were missing, especially recurring events. With Talkbase, we are not able to run recurring events. So what we did, I want to try to share my screen. 1 second. So this is the setup that we did for Led by Community, and now we have set up like a learning hub. We are using our own custom domain that is a feature from Salt. Now we set up the subdomain learn.ledbycommunity. So when people come this way, they can check events. For instance, the one that we are running right now is here, all details. I can also copy the link to share it, or we can see the full event page, and anyone can come and RSVP. Now also we manage, for instance, our bi-weekly meetups here. Straightforward, very easy to do, and is recurring, so people get the invite still recurring. For instance, we have an event upcoming with Valentina Ruffoni from Disciple Media, and she's also already scheduled here. Then the best part is we created, these are kind of top level events, but we have also in the event section, and we created a hub, and we are using the hub to deliver the replays of our events. So this is the exciting part, because it's not about trying to run courses with this. It's more like to deliver anything you need to deliver. Now, for instance, this is the first event that we ran a few months back with Shona James. Oh, this is the community growth consultancy. Sorry, I got confused. This one, there you go. handshake and high fives with Shona. Then we got even the slides, that Shona shared kindly with all of us. Then we go also like 2 weeks ago, Ilker Akansel speaking with us, and also he shared slides from the presentation. We are also even showing a form asking for feedback if we can improve our experience. So we are so happy of been using this, and also all the event management system. So yeah, so that's why the reason why we decided to invite Rush, because I personally felt that Salt is adding value to the experience that we are delivering, because we manage the conversations, discussions on Slack, but we need a way to bring people together through events, and we needed something that help us to run especially recurring events. And also because we started to run calls on Zoom, and it's already natively integrated, so it makes things really simple for us. I just wanted to share the real life example, so like people can relate, that communities are already using this. We have a few more, like maybe you wanted to share also the Ryan holiday example, but in our case we had to do the switch to be able to offer the whole experience that we were aiming to, honestly.
Yeah, no, that was great to see, Francisco. Thanks for taking us through that. And yeah, so here's the Ryan Holiday community. Ryan is, just for some context, is a extremely popular author out here in the United States. He focuses on Stoicism. And he just ran a Wealthy Stoic challenge, the Wealthy Stoic live cohort on our platform, and had about 20,000 people go through it. So this combines live Zoom events with materials and replays. Everything lives here. So the entire system through which he runs this is all on platform, and that includes sending out the emails, the reminders, the replays, all of it. So yeah, that effectively covers that. And so just going back to the presentation. So we have a special offer for those of you on this call today. You can purchase a Zolt Pro plan for $799. It typically is $1,000 for the annual plan, so a 20% discount. And also throwing in a whole bunch of bonuses around the consultation, weekly office hours, and our own course that'll teach you how to build a course. So we've taken the best learnings from Ryan and a whole bunch of our other customers and put that into our own course. So happy to include all of that. And if you're not ready to purchase, we have a free plan as well. You can get started with that through our site. And I'm sure Francisco will be sharing a link as well. So I think that's it. I'd love, happy to answer any questions there are.
We got a question from Team MA. For instance, says, "Hi Rush, thank you so much for sharing everything with us so far. Looks great. Just wondering how this would integrate with a WP site with a forum-based community over IP board. Would it just live on the WP site under a custom domain? It is possible to be locked for member-only events." WP site means WordPress website, of course. No, so I would say that yes, you can host the Salt platform on a subdomain from the main domain where you have your WordPress website. And then the final question is, it is possible to be locked for members only events, Rush?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can create a membership through Zolt and then give access to only your members to that. And then everything that happens inside the membership is for members only. People who are not members will be prompted to sign up for the membership if they want access. So yes, you can run memberships.
Yes. Oh, when Rush says that like Salt can run memberships, means that you can also run the billing side of things, with the platform. So you need to use less tools to manage everything. Yes, I think that covers part of. Thank you for the question, Team MA.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what is your name right now, but Team MA, no, is there asking for that. I think that, for instance, the in my case, for me, Salt easy replaces Luma and Talkbase, not to kind of share, or even like I have seen a few community builders running events using Eventbrite, right, or meetups. No, also those are potential tools that can be easily replaced with Salt. That on top of being able to create pages for your events, so you can share them on LinkedIn, social, anywhere, you have also community components that can add value to the event. So you have like an experience around the event. It's not about just an event page. No, that's probably the big difference between Luma, Talkbase, Eventbrite, Meetup against Salt. I think that even you guys got a few pages done, no, to help people understand the difference, of what the platform can offer. So probably, you can check the website and have a look. It's all right, Andy. You can go. Thank you so much for joining us today. Speak soon.
Yep. Thanks, Andy.
Okay. I think that probably with the replay of this event, we are going to be sending also the link with the offer that Rush mentioned. And that will be available till Sunday. So anyone who wants to explore the idea can, of course, review the page with the replay and then start there. But anyone, I would say any community builder who wants to start creating and managing events can start doing it right away on the free plan. No, that's the main point. There is no need to pay anything. Like you go to zolt.so, create your account, you can easily start creating events for your community. Easy as that. All right.
Absolutely.
I want to share only a final example. So people can see how an event page looks like. Because it's not about events for a community built on Salt. It's an event page where you can collect actually RSVPs. So for instance, this is the page of an upcoming event that we are hosting with Valentina Ruffoni. And I am sharing this on LinkedIn already. So, and this is the page that your potential people will see. All details, nice image, and here are the form, straightforward, to get registered. Description, details about the speaker, description of the event, date. They need to, of course, register to be able to see the streaming link and all that. But this is how the page look like. And also the main advantage is that you get your event pages running on your own domain instead of an external Eventbrite, Meetup, or Luma domain. So you get your own brand always across the board. For me, that's a big value as well, because I can add analytics, pixels, tracking to learn, from my people as well. So that's, for my case, something really, really useful. All right. I think that Robin is saying thank you for the presentation. So Robin, we are happy of having you today and to see this. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin. It was a pleasure.
Okay. If I think that we don't have any more questions right now. So I think that Rush, if you have any closing questions for community builders, part of Led by Community, go for it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me here today and making the time to listen to us. We're here to solve your problems. So if, as you've been watching this, there's something that you feel you could really use, or something you didn't understand, or if there's any way in which we could make your life better, I'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to reach out. It's rush@zolt.so. Even if it's just for advice on how you're going to run your community or set things up, more than happy to share. I think community means people helping each other, and I would really love to help. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out.
Perfect. Thank you, Rush. Send our love to your team, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And for the ones checking the replay later, just let us know. Okay. Okay. I'll stop the recording soon. See you, everyone.
Yeah. See you, everyone. Bye.